What's up, guys? So today I wanted to follow up on like a Q&A that I promised on Instagram. Got like a lot of pretty good questions, so I think that I'm just going to dive right into it. And Garrett, the man behind the camera, is going to read off them, and hopefully not too many troll questions because you guys like to troll me with some funny ones. Oh man, let me tell you. Anyways, first question.
Thoughts about overtraining?
Overtraining can happen, absolutely. However, I will say that it's very difficult for it to happen just because the amount that you have to push through feeling like complete crap is like a lot. So you basically have to be ignoring every single sign that your body has been giving you for a really long time for overtraining to happen. True overtraining is like really difficult to reach just because you have to do that for so long. Now a lot of people will do non-functional overreaching, which is basically when they will ignore needing deloads, and that's a little bit more common. And generally people will stop there, but like beyond that, it's like true overtraining. So basically, what I would just say in order to avoid overtraining is take your deloads. Make sure that you have a coach or you're on a program that does incorporate and plan deloads. And make sure that you are staying within the correct volume landmarks for yourself so that you are not going above your recovery threshold. So that's what I'll say about that.
Nice. How old are you?
I'm 21.
When did you turn 21?
Birthday is September 28th, 1997. So be 22 this year. I'm old.
What's the difference between RIR and RPE?
So reps, RIR means reps in reserve, and RPE means rate of perceived exertion. They're basically the same things. It's just a different way of saying it. Reps in reserve basically is saying, you know, I have 2 reps in reserve. You could do 2 more. That's the same thing as an RPE of 8. It just basically says I could have done 2 more reps. They're both measured on scales of like, reps in reserve is generally going to be within like 1 to 4. It's because you have to be training with that intensity in order for an adaptation to occur. But they're basically just relative intensity techniques to just say how hard you're pushing yourself.
Biggest and quickest way to build mass, in your opinion?
So that's a pipe dream. Building mass doesn't happen fast. Unless you're like a newbie or you're on a ton of gear. And even then it's not as fast as we would like. The process of your body to like assimilate new tissue, especially muscle mass, because muscle mass is extremely metabolically expensive, which means that it needs a lot of oxygen for it to be able to, be not only sustained but built. So the biggest advice I have for somebody is make sure that you are progressively overloading consistently on your in your workouts. Be in a hypertrophy sort of training most of the time, progressing that 7 to 15 rep range, and also make sure that you're getting enough sleep per night, 7 to 9 hours. Prioritize that. That's when the most recovery is happening, is when you are sleeping. If you don't sleep, you're basically you are totally shortchanging yourself on gains. And then set a moderate calorie surplus. Now, like the size of your calorie surplus is going to depend a lot on, your genetics, your growth potential, what sports supplements you're taking, etc. But generally, I would recommend around 200 to 700 calories for most people. Like for example, like my bulks that I've done like pretty big surpluses just because I knew I had a lot of growth potential, and like I don't regret it. But I did put on a little bit extra body fat. So if you are willing to put on more weight, know that that will mean a little bit more fat gain. So the biggest thing is be patient, and then find your calorie maintenance, set your surplus, train hard, train consistently, get stronger in a higher rep range, and then just be patient and trust the process. Building muscle doesn't happen overnight, but that's also what makes it so rewarding when you do build up that muscle and you do create that physique that you want.
How do you handle criticism from others?
Um, that's kind of a hard question because like at the beginning I really cared a lot about what others thought about me, with posting like pictures of my body on social media, especially like family and then friends. Like I got a lot of, honestly, like when I was starting out, I got a lot of flack from people who were like making fun of me for posting good pictures and whatever. But like now, fast forward like a few years in the future, and like nobody says anything bad because they see that I'm doing what I love, and I think that that's really important to do. Follow your passion, even if somebody makes fun of you for it. Because the reality is that doesn't matter. What matters is if you feel like you're doing what's right for you. And I know that this is what's right for me, and I'll continue to do it, just because I love lifting weights. I love fitness. I love everything about it. Like I even love like the parts when dieting, when you're just like sitting there like at night, you can't fall asleep. Like the hunger gains are super strong. I'm just like, oh yes, I'm getting leaner. Like it's just like those little things that just it adds up and it makes it an experience. And like at the end of the day, I'm helping people, helping inspire people and transform their lives, and through this media that I'm so passionate about. And I don't at this point. It's just like it does. It would be a lie if I said it didn't impact me somewhat, but it doesn't. It doesn't faze me from my goal. So,
where are you from?
So I was born in Detroit, Michigan. Lived there for 2 years, and then my dad got a job with Intel Corporation. They create like microprocessors for computers, and then we moved to Seattle, Washington. I lived there for 12 years, which is where I consider where I'm from. And then when in high school, I moved in 8th grade out here to Utah, living in Provo area. So that's where I'm from.
What are your current stats?
Right now I'm like, I don't know. Garrett, would you say I'm like 6 foot, like 6'1"? I haven't like measured myself. I think I'm at least 6 foot.
6.5, maybe.
Yeah,
because
okay.
I'm 6'1".
Okay, and you're a little bit taller than me.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe half an inch or an inch.
We'll say 6 foot.
Yeah, 6
okay,
foot.
I'm 6 foot. I'm 173 pounds. I fluctuate. Like I just finished up the cut, so it'll go up because I'll have more water weight and glycogen and substrates and all that good stuff that comes with maintenance. I have brown hair, I have green eyes, I'm right-handed. What else do people want to know about? Like stats. Oh yeah, like lifts. All-time PRs, which I hit in my cut. 635 pound deadlift, 415 squat, and a 330 pound bench. I curl 100 pounds for like, just kidding. Nah. I wish I could curl 100.
How do you deload?
So I'm going to be making a video in depth on this, like in like a couple of weeks, because this is actually my last week before I have my program deload. I'm going to survive it. I'm feeling the fatigue right now, but basically what a deload is it's a programmed reduction in both volume and intensity, mainly volume, since volume is the main contributor to fatigue. And you do that for 1 week, generally for one, and then what that does is that allows your soft tissue to heal, for substrates like glycogen to replete, which will help your chemical messengers, anabolic signaling improve in your cells. And it provides full neural recovery, full muscular recovery, and full connective tissue recovery, because your connective tissues have like a really long recovery time in comparison to everything else. And a lot of people will neglect deloads, or they'll be like, oh, well, I feel fine. But like that's basically the same thing as, let's say you're going to go on a drive and you don't have like a low gas meter on your car, but you've been driving for a long time and you still have a ways to go. It's like doing that and not filling up at the gas station when you know that you've been driving for a while, and you should probably fill up again before you keep going, because then you'll be able to keep going for longer, and your chances of running out, having to push your car to the next gas station to dig yourself out of that hole are just like way less. Like that's kind of like the same thing with deloading. So there are a couple ways to do it. What I personally do is I will take all my, I'll take my normal program I did for that mesocycle. I'll just cut down to 2 sets, about 8 to 10 reps for each of those exercises. I'll do like an RPE of like 5 to 6. Basically means I can do 5 or 4 more reps in the tank, and then I just leave the gym, and then another way to do it, which is what we outline in our program. This is a little more of an easier way to do it, but it just depends on the person. Like both ways work. Coming for like a 3x3 on day one. Well, this is specifically like if you wanted to like hit a PR, like at the end of your training cycle. Like do like a 3x3 on day one on each of your heavy compounds, like 70% of your max. Take a rest day. Come in, do a heavy single on each of your heavy compounds, squat, bench, deadlift at 90% of your max. Take a rest day. Then do a 2x3 at 65% of your max the day after that, and then you'll take a rest day, and then you'll come into the gym and then do a max. But that's only like if you wanted to max, and the only reason why I really like, again, like both ways work, and both ways will dissipate fatigue. But you just gotta, either ways work. Like there's more than one way to deload, but those are the 2 ways I personally do when I personally program. Don't skip your deloads. I know they're not fun, but literally like you will thank yourself in the long term when you can make crazy progress and not stall out like all your friends.
Favorite pre-workout?
One Up Nutrition. Like actually, genuinely, like even though they are my sponsor, I really do like the pre-workout. Like I've tried like other pre-workouts, and like I guess like other ones I do like. There's like the original ESP formula. That's really hard to find. Like ESP Extreme, I've tried that. I had that for a while. It messes with my heart, and like it gives me really bad anxiety. I just don't like it. I really do like Mesomorph too. So those are my 2 favorites. The 2 biggest things to look for with a pre-workout is to have a good, just have enough caffeine, 200 to 400 milligrams. Just have a pump product, creatine, stuff like that. L-theanine will help too.
Will you ever do a powerlifting meet?
Absolutely. Right now, no. I'm way too skinny, and I'm right now I'm focused on doing hypertrophy right now. I'm a little more focused on bodybuilding into that at the moment. So I'll probably do that. I'll start on another strength cycle soonish, but I want to spend the next 3-ish months in a hypertrophy phase.
How did you meet Quinn?
So I was actually one of Quinn's first coaching clients. It was like either his first or his second. Reached out to him, and then we just kind of started working together. He kind of realized pretty fast that I had a pretty big aptitude for this stuff. I learned pretty fast. I made a pretty good transformation for starting out. He threw that up on his Instagram and got some decent attention. I'm sure I brought him some new clients, new business, so he liked me a lot better then. But it just kind of just happened organically. Like Quinn and I talked about, like, how do we even become friends? It's like, I don't know. Like we just get along very well. Our personalities are very similar. And then ever since then, like just went out last summer to visit him, and it wasn't awkward at all when we first like saw each other, because we already known each other for like over a year. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. You can meet a lot of cool people on social media and new friends. So that's our cute little get together story.
I haven't seen a dab after a lift in quite some time. Please explain.
There you go. There's a dab. You can't dab after every single PR. Actually, well, you can, but God has changed things up.
How many rest days from the gym do you have each week?
I just take one because we're currently split 6 days on, 1 day off. And on the topic of rest days, some people think that they don't need rest days. those people are foolish. Take your rest days. It's so important. Like, people need to start, learning how to prioritize recovery. Fatigue management is very important. Take your rest days, and lift and prosper.
If you could lift with one person, who would it be?
One person. Are we talking living, or are we talking like ever?
Ever.
Ever? Probably Arnold. So honestly, that would just be a treat. Just lift with Arnold. I think Arnold inspires absolutely everybody.
What are your goals for the next 2 years?
I'd like to graduate with my master's in athletic training, bachelor's in exercise science. I'd like to make a name for myself within the fitness industry, where I can hopefully make this my full-time job. Grow coaching, basically just help people really figure out like the real science behind things and how things really do work, because I feel like there's a big lapse in actual scientific knowledge of why we do things in this industry, and it's more just like monkey see, monkey do. Okay, my Fitspo person does this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to copycat them. Like, does that work? And like, can you see really good progress? And like, is it worth learning from those people? Absolutely. Like, I think that there's something to be learned from everybody. Exercise science and nutrition science are so individual and they're evolving constantly. But like, I want to cut the crap in the fitness industry. I want to be able to tell people this is what works and this is what doesn't. You don't need to be doing this much volume. You actually can't eat that food if you are smart about it. There's a lot of misinformation, and a lot of people will kind of say, "Oh, don't you think the fitness industry is saturated?" I think yeah, absolutely. But every single industry is saturated. The issue with the fitness industry right now, it's saturated with a lot of really bad content. So I want to be able to be a part of the industry, like along with the other reputable companies like Renaissance periodization and juggernaut training systems, a higher performance method, and Kaizen. Like, I want to get to the point where like I can build a business primarily that has that same reputability, that gets people results and just cuts the that's my big thing. I want people to actually see progress and not spin their wheels. I think that's one of the most frustrating things, and something that's as important as fitness, it's important to do it right. So those are my long-term goals.
Who do you want to collab with this summer?
Quinn, Dave, Dylan, Corn. Coming soon to theater near you.
How do you personally reverse diet?
So I think that reverse dieting is overrated. I think that what you should do is you should look at where you were going, like where your previous rate of weight loss was, like most recently on your cut, like the past 2 weeks or so, and then add calories accordingly. So like, let's say you're losing a pound per week, your last 2 weeks. So theoretically, we have that 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So over 7 days, you basically divide 3,500 by 7, and you would add that into each of your days. So that'd be 500 calories per day added to your diet. Go from there, monitor your weight. As long as it stabilizes, you will probably have a jump up in glycogen and water, right? Because you're going to be eating more food, more food volume. You're going to have a little bit more glycogen, more carbohydrates. Carbohydrates hold water. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about the initial jump up. Just make sure that it stabilizes. As long as it stabilizes, then you found maintenance. If you're still losing weight, see how much you're losing weight by. I would wait at least 2 weeks before making any adjustments. At least 2 weeks, because sometimes it takes a little bit longer for our physiologies to adjust to increases in calories. So don't be the person that's like 3 days. Oh, I'm gaining weight, I need to lower it. Like, no, give it some time, see the trend, and then go from there. But I think reverse dieting is overrated, because like we do have a certain range for our maintenance, and I feel like all that reverse dieting does is let you know like what that range is. But like everybody has a point where like no matter how much moving that they do, or whatever, how slowly they increase calories, they will eventually gain weight. So you can't like really outsmart your metabolism that much. So too long didn't read. Take your previous rate of weight loss for the past 2 weeks of your cut. For every single pound, that's going to be about 3,500 calories. And then distribute that along a 7-day period, or however you would like it. Like if you want to do high days still, but I would just do it to all 7 days personally. Be an old human being. Don't do the weird calorie cycling. There's no point.
Do you believe in amino acids?
No. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. Peptides are made of amino acids, which is long chains of protein, amino acids. Get enough protein, about 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight is what I would recommend for most people. Especially if you're training hard, you're going to need that protein for recovery. Invest in a high quality protein powder, and do not worry about amino acids. Like, there's just no point.
What supplements would you recommend for a 14-year-old?
Creatine, monohydrate, protein powder. That's really it. Maybe like a multivitamin, fish oil, vitamin D3, stuff like that. The best supplement for a kid at that age, though, is just eating a wide variety of foods and being active. Okay, so we had some more questions, but I think it kind of went on long enough. So thank you to everybody who did ask a question. If you guys do have any more questions for me, just ask them in my Instagram DMs or YouTube comments. I'll try to get back to them. So yeah, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.